everyone. Welcome to the virtual crop intermission video. And we're doing things a little bit differently this month, but let me introduce myself. If we have not met before, my name is Noreen Smith. I am the Product Development Creative Manager at Creative Memories, and it's my pleasure to be with you today. Now, when I mentioned that we're doing things a little bit differently, last month, you'll remember that we were live together for the kickoff of the virtual crop, and that was at the Friday, right at about 5 p.m. Central Time. And then we shared a pre-recorded virtual crop intermission video on Sunday. So this time we've kind of swapped them. You probably saw, and if you haven't seen it, you can certainly go back and watch it. But you probably saw the pre-recorded kickoff video on Friday. And now that I'm back home in Calgary, Alberta with freezing, frigid temperatures, now I'm here to join you live for the intermission video. So again, we're just kind of flip-flopping them. Who knows what will happen next month, but probably we'll have a live kickoff and then a pre-recorded intermission. All right, so I'm looking to see, it looks like we've got lots of gals joining us there, but I haven't seen any comments yet. And again, you know what Facebook's like in live streaming into Facebook. Sometimes we see comments, sometimes we don't. So I would love to see if we've got, thumbs up. People can hear me, people can see me. If for some reason I can't see the comments yet, I will certainly go back and look at them afterwards. Okay? But yeah, so let me tell you, like I said, I see lots of eyes, but no thumbs up or anything yet. So we'll see how this all works. Hopefully everything is good. If you have any problems during the live stream, try refreshing your screen. That always seems to help. Again, if you can't hear or see things, tune in at the end. The replay will be ready to go again, and you'll be able to watch it again as soon as I finish the live stream. So if for some reason you're having problems, go have a cup of coffee and then come back and join us in a little while. Okay, looks like things are going okay though, even though I can't see comments. Now, what I wanted to kind of do today is talk a little bit about giving you a bit of a sneak peek at some products that are launching tomorrow. But I also wanted to talk about organization. Now, if you remember last month in the January virtual crop, we had a topic of how are you going to document 2025? And we talked a lot about, different strategies. I talked about, chronological scrapbooking, that kind of thing, and how it really wasn't my preferred way of scrapbooking. But, we talked about a few different things. And I showed you kind of the beginning of my organization system for 2025. Now, we're only a month or so in. So far, it's working good. I'm going to show that to you and we're going to revisit it. But then I want to talk a little bit more in depth about some of our products that you can use and also how you can start to think about organizing in the way that works best for you. Okay, so let me switch you over here to my table and hopefully everything will work. There we go. And this is the Noteworthy album that I am using this year as my holding album. So you might remember that last month, after the virtual crop, I showed you that I was going to be using this album as my holding album for all of the pages that I create for, samples or for the virtual crops, that kind of thing. And I'm going to be coming back and adding my photos later. I think I told many of you that for years I had stored my pre-made layouts in cases, either our Creative Memories Power Sort layout guide box, or iris type cases, plastic boxes like that, or even in some cases just our Creative Memories shipping boxes. So the problem was I was trying to dig through all of the layouts, all of the pre-made layouts to find ones to put my photos on. So I decided I'm going to put them in my albums so that I can actually just flip through and see what I've got. So, and I've mixed them up kind of a little bit or organized them a little bit by theme. So there was the simple page kit number 1 for January, kind of a celebration theme. I can come back to that. This was a January virtual sketch, a virtual crop sketch that I did with Noteworthy. This is a February virtual crop sketch that I did with Noteworthy. So again, I love starting to see how some of these papers and pages will now work together. Then I think we had a little time-lapse type of video of the simple page kit number 2. This was the one that was available for February. We've got kind of a love theme, but it's more kind of focused on friendship as well. You know, good times together, sweet friendship. So again, this is something that I can probably use, and again, beautifully coordinates with the rest of the Noteworthy pages. And then we did some Valentines. This was Happy Together, and this was one of the January virtual crop sketches. And then I used Happy Together again in February. So this was a 1-page virtual crop sketch for February. And then I also did a second version of this page in February. And again, it's kind of a Valentine's theme. So I kind of have all of my, you know, Valentine's or love related themes together. This was from this month, and we're going to kind of come back to this and talk a little bit more about the products used here in a few minutes. And then this was Sun Soak that we did in January. And then we got, again, a few more. Growing up, I'm sure I can find, you know, some photos of the boys when they were growing up that I want to include here, you know, probably, you know, at the park or playground. So I'll be able to see that really easily. And then a birthday, which we did a birthday layout. This was a January sketch. So this is Birthday Jubilee. Again, we have birthdays all year long. So having my birthday pages in here is going to work beautifully for me to go back, you know, and add things later on. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's all of the layouts that I have so far in my holding album. But already, even just, you know, after 2 virtual crops, plus my page kits, look at all of the layouts that I have ready to go. So that's what we were talking about last month in terms of no matter if you document things in a chronological way, or you prefer to, you know, choose your photos and then, you know, scrapbook a page and then move things around, there's going to be a solution for you. So again, I have this album filled with the large pocket pages, the top loading pocket pages. So I can go through and very easily, you know, take out the birthday layout, work on it, and then maybe it's going to go into a different album, you know, with for the rest of my family albums. So I think that this is going to work really well for me. I have not had a chance to actually go through and add photos to any of these, but I have to tell you, I'm very excited. I committed to going with my mother-in-law to scrapbook at both the Calgary and Edmonton Great Canadian Scrapbook Carnival. So I'm dedicating 2 weekends to myself to do my own scrapbooking. So you can bet that this album will be coming with me along with a bunch of photos that I'm printing, and I'll be able to complete these plus work on some other projects. So this is a great organizational strategy for me. If you don't scrapbook chronologically, or if you find that you're having problems, you know, remembering some of the base type pages that you make, this may be an alternative for you as well. But that's part of the kind of the challenge. And I'll just come back to you here to talk for a minute. This is kind of the challenge of organizing for scrapbooking, because none of us scrapbook in the same way. You know, we don't all, you know, sit down and look at, you know, the photos and say, okay, I have the perfect paper to go with this, and I'm going to use the perfect sketch, and I'm going to create. Many of us will have photos that we've printed and that we kind of have, you know, set aside that we know we want to do something with, but we're not sure. Some of us are, you know, printing photos at the end of a month and scrapbooking those photos right away into a chronological scrapbook. Some of us are going back in time, to family history, and trying to organize and sort and arrange the photos in that type of a scrapbook. So there's no one solution. I often say there's no one right way to scrapbook. And that goes for organizing too. There's no right or wrong way to organize. But what I want you to think about is your personal scrapbooking process. What do you start with? What's the most important thing to you? Do you care if the photos, the colors in the photos match the colors of the papers that you use? Or are you just going to go in and you just want to get them down on some really simple, solid backgrounds? So, your organizational needs, if that's the type of scrapbooker you are going to be different from a scrapbooker who thinks about things in terms of collections. You might want to organize by collections then. If you often think of colors first, you might want to organize by color. So again, you need to sort of think about your own process. And what are the steps when you sit down to create a layout? What do you do first? Do you pull photos first? Do you look at a sketch first and then find photos that will work? Do you pull a collection first? Or do you look for a collection that will work with photos? So all of these questions are really important for you to get a handle on how you scrapbook. And the longer that you scrapbook, the more in tune you are with what your process is. And so I think that that's something that if you haven't thought a lot about yet, that's something you could spend a little bit of time thinking about this month if you've already decided how you're documenting 2025. Okay, so we're kind of in that natural progression. How are we going to document 2025 is what we kind of started thinking about last month. Now we're really focusing on how are we organizing? How are we staying on top of this system or this process that we have decided upon for this year? Okay. So I want to share some of the products that are launching tomorrow and talk about how they might be used to help you stay scrapbooking, to help you stay organized with your scrapbooking. So again, I'm going to talk about a variety of different ways and hopefully something will click for you. Hopefully you'll say, that might work for me. I like that idea. I'm going to try it. Okay. And the other thing is, and maybe don't put this in the comments for the video because sometimes that will get lost, but maybe, share some of your best organizational strategies in posts in the Virtual Crop Facebook group in the days to come, after you've had a little bit of time to think about it, or after maybe you've used some of these products that we're going to talk about. Okay, so let me switch you back over and let's talk about the sort and stash. Let me get rid of this here. All right, sort and stash, because we've got some new sort and stash accessories coming out tomorrow. And that's what I really want to kind of focus on. That's what I think where you can really tailor make a solution for yourself. All right. So sort and stash. First of all, what is it? If you haven't seen a sort and stash before, where's my zipper? I think it's already tucked up way up here. It's basically a binder. Let me open it for you so you can see. It's a binder, and here's my zipper. It's got kind of tucked up around, but it zips all the way closed. So it's a great way to store your stash. It's got a little handle on the side, so you can almost carry it, like a little briefcase, so to speak. Plus, it will slide into a bookcase very easily, and you can then pull it out and use it. And one of the things I love about the sort and stash is, again, the ability to customize it. So when you look at it, you've got a little pocket here. So if there's some loose papers or things like that you want to add, maybe it's your virtual crop sketches, that kind of thing. Maybe you pop them in there. It comes with 4 of the the fill-in file sleeves, and so that you can get an idea of what each sleeve can do. So we have our 12 by 12, and this is basically a large sleeve, and you've got a sleeve on the front and a sleeve on the back. So I can put things in the front, turn it over, and put things in the back. Then it also comes with a 5.5 by 5.5 fill and file sleeve. And this is, as you can see, you've got 4 5.5-inch square sections. So 4 on the front and 4 on the back. So you can start to imagine the kinds of things that you might want to put in there. Then we have the 12 by, I think it's 2.5. But these are long, wide pockets. So these are going to be great for things like borders, whether they are laser borders, punched borders, lasered. Did I say layered or lasered? So layered borders, laser borders, punched borders, all that kind of good stuff. So again, you've got 4 pockets on the front, 4 pockets on the back. And then we have the 6 by 12. So it's basically 2 6 by 12 pockets on the front. These are perfectly sized for our CM sticker sheets, but again, there's going to be other things you can use. So 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And we're really excited that tomorrow the new 3 by 3 pockets will be available. And these initially we kind of soft launched as part of a promo at the beginning of the year with the noteworthy letters. So let me just show you one with the letters here all together. So the 3 by 3 fill and file has 12 3-inch by 3-inch pockets, and we purposefully designed these for our little embellishment letters. So these are the noteworthy embellishments that are just ABCs, and they came in blue, white, craft, and green to coordinate with the noteworthy collection. So these are die cut letters, which we haven't done a lot of before, and we knew that we would need another option for storing them. So we came up with the 3 by 3s, and again, 12 pockets on the front, 12 on the back. So you can see that I was able to get all the way A through Z, and I've just chosen to kind of organize all the colors together. So I'm kind of mixing up the colors and putting each letter in a slot. And that will be really easy when I go to do my titles. Now, because the fill-in file sleeves, it comes in a package of 5, and all of these you're able to purchase these in packages of 5. You're going to be able, if you want, you can organize all your blue ones together, all your green ones together, all your craft, and all of your white. So it's totally up to you how you use these. Of course, these are going to be perfect for small little embellishments as well. So that is the 5th type of fill-in file sleeve. So again, 12 by 12, 5.5 by 5.5, the 12 by 2.5, the 6 by 12s, and now the 3 by 3s. So again, you receive one of each of these 4 in your sort and stash binder when you buy it. Then you can buy the new 3 by 3s and or any other sleeves that you might want. Okay, so that's the first new product that we've got coming out tomorrow. And I know that many of you are excited to see the 3 by 3s come into the regular line. All right, so let's go ahead and start filling my sort and stash. And again, I'm just going to give you some different ideas for how to use each one of those sleeves and how we're going to keep them organized inside our sort and stash. So our second new product or accessory that we have for the sort and stash is the new dividers. And I am really excited about these. I wanted to show you the package before I took them all out, because we've got these fantastic blue gradient fill-in file sleeves, but don't forget that there's little labels in there as well. So we've already kind of thought about some of the ways that you might want to use these. Let me see if I can get that in frame. And we have pre-labeled the dividers. So we've got ABCs, borders, embellishments, recipe templates, stickers, and extras. But again, if you don't like those categories, you can take any of the little stickers, write your own category on a sticker and put it on top of the printed category. So again, make them work for you. Don't just, use this as a default. Think about, does this work for you? Now, I do want to show you one thing. I'm going to come back to this other binder, this other sort and stash that I have in a little bit. But for example, we have a recipe templates. I'm really excited about the actual dividers themselves because for many years, I just simply kind of hacked using the power layout guides as my, let me see if I can get that out. There we go. As my dividers. And these are the guides that come in a power layout box. They don't have holes in them. I went ahead and punched holes in them. And then I just made my own little, divider using my label maker. And you can see that when they're in the sort and stash, they're too short, but I made do, right? I hacked them and I made do. So now you can see that we've taken care of that for you and we've created a custom size divider. So if you are using, your power layout guides, take your little labels off them. You're not going to need those anymore. Put them back into your power layout guide. Doesn't matter if it's got the holes on them. And now you can use them back in your power layout guide because these are going to work so much better. All right, I'm going to come back to this binder in a couple of minutes. But let's go through what I think I might do with some of these dividers. And again, we've chosen these categories to print because that seems like the most obvious way of using some of the different products. All right, so let's go ahead first here. I'm going to put in my ABCs. So I'm going to put my divider here. And I just showed you how I had all of my noteworthy coordinating die cut letters. So I'm just going to put that in there. And if I had a few of them, I could put that on top as well. But I also might want to store, and this is where, again, you can start to kind of customize and think about how you scrapbook. If you have a lot of letter stickers, ABC 1, 2, 3 letter stickers, you can put those into one of the sticker fill-in files, the 6x12, and pop that in your ABC category as well. Okay, so that's what I've done. I've got my black sans serif and my white sans serif and serif. So I'm going to also put those into my ABC category. All right, so next category is borders. Now, I will tell you in terms of my own process, I am a collection-based scrapbooker. So I typically keep my collections together, all in either the bag they come in, or when they get to be too big, I put them into one of our Power Project folders. But sometimes I'll have leftovers. So here's, for example, these, honest to goodness, I think these are from about 2015 or 16. These were Season's Greetings Christmas borders, and they are laser cut borders, and they're very beautiful and very delicate. Look, the little edge there had caught something. So I want to keep those protected. And just keeping those in, a plastic Ziploc bag or whatever, it'll work and hopefully it'll keep them protected, but they are more likely to get bent. Plus, I have to pull them out every time I want to see them. I also didn't have a lot of Season's Greetings papers left. So I tend to use this type of storage when I'm at the end of a collection, when I have some leftovers. So I took the rest of the borders here, put them in one side, and I've got some empty spaces on the back side. So you could do that. Or again, you could organize an entire collection with some of your different fill-in file sleeves and then keep that together. So that's another way you might want to do it. Now, I have some beautiful birthday jubilee layered embellishments. And again, when we package them, they're packaged with these kind of clear mylar sheets to protect them. But how nice is it to just be able to put them in, and then they don't get all caught. You can see those kind of little holes here there where the borders connect and stay put. But here I can go ahead. Maybe I'm going to put these two together, or maybe I would get an additional. Oh, here's some that I had that were a little leftover pieces. But I can take these and put them all into the border fill-in file very easily. And then they're protected. I'm going to put these banner ones in here, maybe just with the, and those actually were from, I cut apart the happy birthday banners in my January layout using Birthday Jubilee. But so now this kind of awkward packaging, I can recycle it. And I've got my Birthday Jubilee borders very easily accessible, protected, and I can see them. So now if I was doing something like this, I might have like a bunch of different Christmas borders all together. I might have, a bunch of different birthday borders together, and I may want to either divide them further up, or maybe I just want to take a little label maker and maybe write down Christmas greetings or season's greetings borders and the date or whatever, just so I know what collection they come from. Because again, I think in terms of collection, you might just want to categorize them by theme. So again, maybe you're just going to write Christmas, and then maybe you might have 2 or 3 pages of Christmas borders, and then you might have 2 or 3 pages of birthday borders, etc. Okay, so again, the borders will protect laser layered pre-cut borders that you punch out with our tools, anything like that. And it's a great way to see them and protect them. All right, next up here we have embellishments. And so the embellishments I like to put in the 5 by 5.5 by 5.5, because then I can do slightly bigger ones. Again, these are from Season's Greetings. They're quite, there's a few that are quite large. Plus, even though my mat cards are bigger than 5 by 5, if I slide them into the lower pockets, it doesn't really matter if they stick out. So I can definitely put all of my leftover embellishments in the 5.5 by 5.5. Now again, if you have small embellishments, you might want to put them in the 3 by 3 and put some of those into your embellishments category. Here are some of the beautiful ornaments that we had. They were die cut ornaments, and they were kind of mix and match. And I think this was from Christmas Cheer from a couple of years ago. So I kind of went through and separated all of the different, kind of bases and laser cut top pieces, so that, when I need a little ornament embellishment, I've got them all together. So that's another way that you can, again, organize and really kind of drill down when you've got things that work together. Like here's all of the different round, shapes, and then the round laser cuts that can go over top. So I can easily see what I have and what might, look really, really great. So I've just divided up, the one pack of embellishments and put them in. I do have a package of embellishments. So here was Birthday Bonanza. So again, you could basically slide a package into one of the folders. And again, it would stick up, put them on the lower pockets. They'll stick up a little bit, but those would also be protected. Okay. So I actually have, again, maybe thinking about birthdays. So I've got Birthday Jubilee embellishments, and I've got Birthday Bonanza. So let me get, where did I put my extras? Where did I put my extra sleeves? Are they still at the front? I don't know where I put my extras. Oh, here they are. So I could, again, come in with another sleeve really quickly. And I could put in, all of my Birthday Jubilee that I have. And again, some of these are nice and big, so they kind of can go in on an angle, or if they were completely too large, I think we have a large title in here. So again, something like this might not fit on the side, but I could always stand it up. And I could go through and, you know, maybe my cameras, I've got a lot of these little fan shapes, so I could organize them however it makes sense to me. I've got camera and some little frames, so those could all go together in there. Here's a couple of, you know, flower organized. I can organize them together. Some candles. This is kind of like a little date, presents, and a gift bag. There's cake. So again, however you think about it, there's cake. There's cake, lots and lots of cake. There's another flower. I'll maybe put the cake in here, and then I'll add some of the balloons together here. Oh, there's a rogue candle and another set of candles, so I'll put those in there. This makes sense to put it in with the little hearts. I've got more cake, lots of cake. And then I can just look, and I think I'll put the presents in with these little banners. I think I'll put that one in there. And then I've got a couple of titles. So again, I've kind of organized them into things that I might use together. You know, I've got the kind of the titles together. I've got, you know, things that work together here. And I'm sorry, that was a little bit out of frame. So I've just, you know, done that really quickly. But you could also take, you know, when you have maybe some of the smaller embellishments, these would work, of course, really well in those 3x3. Let's just pull that there. You can see that small embellishments will work really well with the 3x3. Okay, so that's embellishments. And again, totally up to you how you organize it. I would start by thinking color, collection, or theme. So again, you have all your birthdays together, or maybe again, you have your birthday jubilees all together, and then maybe your birthday bonanzas going on the next page. So again, lots of options. All right, so that's going to go that way. I can put my birthday bonanza here. All right. The next one, actually, I've got these mixed up, is recipe templates. And I had shown you already that I actually kind of had my hacked divider, and I used that for my recipe templates. And I actually have an entire sort and stash for my templates because I do love the recipe templates. And I've got a bunch of different ones in here. I even have ones, you know, from Old Creative Memories, you know, so these are quite old. With some of the kind of the stencil type journaling templates. I've got some, you know, small, almost like the rulers or the different small templates. So again, these large pockets are perfect for recipe templates, but they could be used for other things as well. Does anybody remember these from 2011? So they were kind of shaped. And I even have some of our page planners in there, right? So yeah, I've got a whole binder full of, you know, stencils and templates and journaling stencils. So I will probably keep this just for my stencils, and then I will probably use that divider in this binder so that I know what it is. And we're going to talk about what happens if you have more than one sort and stash. So we're going to come back to that in a minute. But let's go ahead and put the recipe template there. And I've got, you know, Argyle's one of my favorites. And I've got Tropic Time. So I've got 2 recipe templates there. And that's going to go in my binder. All right. Now we have some stickers. And it's a darker blue, so I don't know if you can see that. But this is for stickers. And we already talked a little bit about the sticker fill and file sleeve because I was using that as well for my letters. So again, if you think more in terms of those as stickers, maybe you're going to put them in your sticker category. So again, think of your own process. For me, I usually think of stickers as decorative, and I think of these as ABCs. So I would probably keep these with my ABCs. But again, you can easily get, we're still on the birthday theme here. So these are 3 birthday bonanza. I could take my little label maker and label that so I don't forget. And here's my birthday jubilee. So I could get all of my, the last few birthday collections that I have. I could probably get, 4 different collections of birthday stickers on just the one sticker sheet. Just like I was able to get 4 different, go on there, 4 different ABCs. So again, whatever type of stickers you want to put in your sticker sleeves, the 6x12s, and in your sticker category. All right, so our last one is called extras. And again, I'm sorry if you can't see that. I'm trying to get that in camera, but it's called extras. Can you see it better without my hand? There you go. Extras. So what are extras? Well, that's anything that doesn't work in those other categories. So maybe you have, remember these, the Titletopias. Maybe you have some other kinds of tools, flat tools or stencils or things like that that you want to put in there. So that would work really well. Another thing that I see a lot of people use these for, and maybe not for long-term storage, but we're going to talk about why you might want to put paper packs in your fill or your sort and stash inside fill and file sleeves. So here's my birthday jubilee designer papers, and on the back my birthday jubilee fast to fab. So again, you can see that I got the whole pack. Actually, I might be about 2 sheets short, 2 or 3 sheets short, but I got the package of the designers at the front, and then here's my fast to fabs, and I can just pop those in there. And when I would do something like this is kind of exactly what I was saying in terms of what happens if you have lots of these things. You might need, depending on your stash, you might need a sort and stash binder like I have for my templates. You might need one for your ABCs. Or maybe you love borders and maybe you're going to have a sort and stash just for your borders and maybe embellishments. And then maybe all of your templates are going to go into one, and then all your stickers or something like that. Again, it depends on how much stash you have and where you think about how you want to see it. Okay. But here's where I think the sort and stash can be amazing. So here's my templates, and we're going to talk about this in a second too. Here's my template binder. I'm going to the Great Canadian Scrapbook Carnival. I don't want to take all my templates, but I want to take my mirrored ovals, and I definitely want to take, maybe this one. This one was an everyday journal template, and I use that one a lot. So I'm going to go to my templates section, and maybe I'm not going to use this one this weekend, but I'm going to put the ones that I need for that crop in here. They stay organized. I'm going to bring them to my crop in this sort and stash binder. When I get home, I'm going to unload it and put it all back into my templates binder. Same thing. I'm going to use I'm focusing on birthday pages. So I've taken my birthday stickers out of my sticker book, and I've put that and some of my ABCs into my on-the-go sort of sort and stash. So I could really customize this not only for storing my stuff at home, but I can use it as an incredibly easy way to transport and stay organized. Because once I have all of the products that I'm going to need to use at the crop, I'm just going to zip it up, and I can take all of those supplies with me, just carry them like this, or pop this into a larger tote bag or something. So I love the idea of the sort and stash, not only for storing, sorting, organizing, and storing my supplies at home, but using one of my sort and stashes as a to go. Everything I need for my crop, maybe with the exception of my photos, is in here. I can put my paper in here. I can put my templates in here, my embellishments. Everything I need could be in here. All right. So what about if I have more than one sort and stash? Well, for a long time, I don't know, many of you probably did something similar. I would use my little label maker to just, jot down what was in that sort and stash. But now I actually have a couple of other options. So these are our new labels, and they're sold in 2-packs, and we've got a business card size, and we've got a little label holder. So you might want to, and they're self-adhesive, and the adhesive is fantastic. So you just peel off the back, and we're going to stick this right on the side. So I'm going to get rid of that label maker label. It's stuck on there pretty good. And again, depends on where you want it, but I'm just going to put it right here at the top. And isn't that so much nicer? Now my camera is really showing it as kind of the blue-green or green when it was up like this, but it is the same color as our CM logo. So I can label all of my sort and stashes, with the label size. I could also put the labels on the front. These are going to be great for your power pods. They're going to be great for if you have, tools organizers, and you've got border makers in some and maybe punches in others. So these are going to really help you with your organizing to identify what you have in which sort and stash or in which other product. All right. So I love those. Again, little pack of 2, label size or business card size. Okay. Now, if that wasn't enough, that's my templates one. If that wasn't enough, I want to show you one more new product, accessory product for the sort and stash binder. And again, this might be the answer for some of you when you are going to crops. This is, I want to get this right, the pen and pocket divider. So you can see that it's a nice sturdy card that's covered with the same fabric as the sort and stash. And it's got all of these little loops for your pens, for your small tools, pencils, etc. It's got a couple of pockets, which is great for, erasers, small tools, that kind of thing. Your adhesives will fit in here, so you can just kind of pull them out, put them in, pull them out. And then on the back, we didn't want this space to go unused, so we've actually put a great pocket on there. So this is just a piece of paper, but you can definitely use that to store all of the, virtual crop sketches or project recipe sheets, or, maybe you have your own sketches that you want to work with. So that when you bring, sorry, that one popped out as I was flipping, but when you bring your sort and stash with you to that crop or event, you can store just the pens, or you can bring just the pens that you need, just the tools that you need, and then you can put all of your inspiration in there. So again, because this lays flat, and I know you're not going to be able to really see it here, but because it also stands up, you could see your inspiration there in front of your work surface. So there's going to be a variety of different ways that you can use these. Now, people might say, well, I'm not going to get very many pens in there. Again, it depends on your stash. If you've only got a few pens that you use regularly, this is perfect because you can pop them into the little pen loops, the elastic pen loops. And then when you store this, the pens are stored in that horizontal position. When you have it lying down, they're also stored in the horizontal position. If you have as many pens as I do, behind me on my grid wall or my cube wall, this might not be the solution, but maybe you're going to pop your lifter stick, your multi-purpose tool. You're going to pop other small things like your tweezers, your pencils, your pens, that kind of thing in here. And that, again, might be just enough to take with you to a retreat or a crop. So I can go through, choose from my own bigger stash what I need for the weekend. I can zip it all up, and it's going to be the perfect sort of little selection of products that I need just for my weekend. So I think that, once you start to think about your process, think about your needs, you're going to find that you're going to either love the sort and stash for long-term storage of certain types of products in your own scrap space, but you're also going to love how portable it is. You can just pick it up and take it with you. So again, you have to think a little bit about your process. All right. So that's my challenge to you over the next little while, is to think about the process by which you sort, organize, store, retrieve the products that you use in your scrapbook process. All right. So that's all about the sort and stash. Again, those 4 new products. We've got the decorative dividers. We've got the pen and pocket dividers. We've got the labels, and we've got, is that 3 or 4? Oh, and then the 3x3 fill and file sleeves. Not new, but now available individually as well. So 4 new things to help you use your sort and stash even more efficiently. All right. Now, before we go, I just want to talk about one other product that's launching tomorrow, because it's a good one, and it also has a storage component. So let me bring you back to my table here, and let's talk about the Gradient Buffet. And let me tell you what it is briefly first, and then I'm going to tell you why we have this. Oh, and I've got a piece of paper there. Our CEO, Allison Dutton, was actually at an advisor event, and the advisor was hosting a paper buffet. And for those of you who have never been to a paper buffet, basically the Creative Memories advisor kind of puts a paper down, and whoever wants that individual piece of paper says mine, and grabs it, and that becomes part of their 10 pack or however many they're doing. So it's a really fast paced and fun way to share and pick up papers that you want. So what Allison Dutton noticed during the paper buffet is that everybody loved the gradients, the ones that looked like ombre or different shades of the same color that had a beautiful light to dark, dark to light effect. So she came back to the product team and said, could we do a bunch of different colors of gradient papers or ombre papers? So we set our designers to it. They found some of our favorite inspiration from some different paper packs and created the rainbow here, as you can see. We've got 8 packs: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then a brown and a black. And you can see, and I won't hold all of them up, but you can see that they are the same papers. So you look at this one here, it's the exact same as here. We've got the plaid down here, the kind of the gradient plaid here. So all of them are the same papers, but in different colors. So this red pack will go with our soft pink cardstock, red cardstock, cranberry cardstock, and firecracker shimmer, all of the different reds that we have. So it's kind of like a Totally Tonals, but with this beautiful gradient design. And this is a paper pack buffet. So basically, you're going to want to check the website tomorrow. But I believe if you purchase 6 to 11 of these paper packs, and again, you can purchase them in any quantity, any configuration. If you really want 6 reds, go for it. But when you purchase any 6 to 11, you're going to get the rainbow gradient paper pack free. So with multiples of 6, basically, you're going to get the rainbow gradients. So we've also got a one-click bundle so that you get all 8 of the rainbow gradients plus the bonus free paper pack. And since we're talking about organizing, this is going to come in super handy. It's also going to include the 12 by 12 file mate, paper file mate, at half price. So if you don't already have one of these, you're going to want to take advantage of the buffet so that you can get the paper file mate at half price. So that's already all included in the one-click bundle. And you can see how I've arranged my paper file mate. And this is a great way to arrange all of those papers that you don't have in a full collection. So I've just taken the little dividers and just drawn a swatch of the colors on there. And then I've put the entire rainbow pack, or the color-based pack, into the sections. Like, look at those papers. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? You're going to be able, again, if you're a color-based scrapbooker, you're going to be able to go to these, pull out the colors that you want. If you're working, say, on Christmas and you need a paper that's red but just has a really subtle pattern, you're going to be able to go to this. If you have some totally tonals or even cardstock scraps, you're going to be able to organize them all in this way. So I think it's a really great organizational tip to think about. Again, if you had the paper file mate, would you organize by color like this? Would you put different collections inside this? How would that help you stay organized? And for me, I often think about color. So having this colorful buffet plus the ability to get all my colored papers organized is definitely a win-win. So again, 8 of the same paper packs. Buy any combination of 6 and you'll receive the Rainbow Gradients Best Hits free. And if you do the one-click bundle, you're also going to get the paper file mate at half price. Okay, I included in the bundle. So again, another great way to think about your organizational process and your organizational needs for 2025. All right, there's my finger. Somebody said at one point, Noreen's finger is the co-host on every live stream that I do. All right, well, again, I'm sorry that the comments weren't coming up for me to read, but I will go through and see if there's any big questions. But I encourage you to spend a little bit of time when these products go live at noon tomorrow, noon Central Time, and have a look and spend some time thinking today as you finish up with your virtual crop, sketches with your secret box project guidebook layouts. As you're finishing that, as you're doing a few more layouts today, think about your process. What do you reach for first? Where do you look for things? Is there a real problem area that you need to think of a solution for? Like, I can never find my whatever. What could the sort and stash solve for that problem? Okay, so think about all of the different combinations of the fill and file sleeves, plus the new accessories that we have, like the pen and pouch decorative divider, the dividers, the new 3x3 sleeves, and again, just being able to label your sort and stash so that you know what's in it while it's on your shelf, making it easy to retrieve. Okay, so all of those solutions hopefully will get you started in the organizing for the rest of 2025. Okay? All right, well, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover with you. I know that many of you are still working on your virtual crop sketches. Many have been shared, and there's so many great ones in the virtual crop Facebook group already. You're definitely going to want to have a scroll through some of those to get additional inspiration. That's one of the best things about the virtual crops, is that sure, we give you some sketches and some inspiration to get you going, but you guys run with it and you share so generously all of your amazing layouts and ideas and stories. We love seeing the photos that you have on your layouts and hearing the stories about them. So it's such a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I can't wait to see you next month in March when we're going to do the same thing. And again, I'm not sure if we'll do a live on the Friday or a live on the Sunday, but I'll see you twice over that weekend. Don't forget to fill in your virtual crop tracker sheet as you complete your February virtual crop sketches. And don't forget to share them. And again, check your virtual crop flyer. I should have had one handy. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. But check for the hashtag and for all of the dates and times. You've got basically until Tuesday at midnight for our North American friends, and then the corresponding time frame for us, our Australian friends. So make sure you get your layouts completed, photographed, and posted with the hashtag for chances to win, and of course, the wonderful way of sharing all of the inspiration with everybody. Okay? All right, I came in just under an hour, which was my goal. So I will leave you to scrapbook the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend. Have fun. Think about your organizational strategy for 2025. And I will see you again next month. All right? Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.